Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
Sean Diddy Combs is back in court for the first time since his high-stakes trial this summer. The music mogul's attorneys are trying to get his conviction on prostitution charges dropped. They say they shouldn't apply to Combs because he was a voyeur, not a pimp. ABC News investigative reporter Olivia Rubens outside the courthouse and ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer are all here to talk through this. So, Olivia, what's the latest in court?
Diane, I was just inside the courthouse watching some of these arguments play out. And when I was in there, the prosecutors were actually debating making their arguments for how their definition of prostitution differs with the definition that the Combs team has put forward. Remember, and you just laid it out right there, the Combs team is essentially saying that because Combs wasn't directly involved with some of the actions like the transporting or directly paying, that he wouldn't necessarily be qualified as a prostitution in this case, as a pimp, as one would say, but rather that this, as you said, was voyeurism or some amateur form of pornography, which is why they were filming some of the so-called freak-offs that were centered in this case. But the prosecutor is saying that's not necessarily our definition there, and continuing to make their case to the judge. I will say this hearing has now been going on, Diane, for almost an hour and a half. I did see Sean Combs sitting there in one of the rows with his attorneys, passing some notes and watching the arguments play out.
Man, guys, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, download the app right now. Guys, just a recap on what happened today with Diddy, man. It's unfortunate that he's still locked up with the extremity of the crime that it's really not more extreme than anybody else, but he getting a harsher treatment. OG, you there?
I'm right here.
Yeah, he's getting a harsher treatment, OG, and I don't think it's right.
Well, under the guidelines, you're basically right in the assertions of under the federal guidelines of what they call interstate transfer for purpose of prostitution. You know that there is a extreme way to put it, and what he did, he was not directly involved one way or another.
Well, I can tell you right now, when you look at Sean Diddy Combs, he's been in jail now for a long time. I could see the judge coming in and basically sentencing him to a shorter period of time that he's been locked up, and he walks out that same day. That's one of the things that could happen when he goes to trial or when he goes back to court to go before his sentencing hearing. I think he can walk out that day. His mother, and along with a lot of other family members and some of the prisoners or people that he's been locked up with, they all pushing for him, and they've all been writing. His mother's 85, man. She don't know if she gonna be here when he make it home or not. These are things that the judge will have to consider. I think that you're gonna be surprised, OG. And like I said, when he didn't let him out the first time, I was very disappointed in it. And the only reason I was disappointed in it because I just feel like it's not justice. They're not doing what the law says you should do. You have an option. You could have let him go. It's not a harsh crime as they made it out to be. It's not a RICO. If it was a RICO, that'd be different. They charged him wrong. They tried him wrong. That's their own fault. And I think that the prosecutor and all of those guys are looking dumb, and they shouldn't have done it the way they done it. They could have just went ahead and sentenced him for what, or tried him for the things that actually he done. If you wanted to go at him about Cassie, go at him about Cassie. But don't try to turn it into something that it's not. And that's what they done. And now they're winning because they're getting to keep him locked up when they made a bonehead mistake. Did I lose you?
You're absolutely right. You know, it goes deeper than what we're talking about here. You know, this was a political assassination of Puffy, and the judge is not going to overturn the conviction, which it should be, or get a new trial because it's out of the concepts of the guidelines of the federal guidelines in transporting for purpose of prostitution. So they'll let it go over to the appellate courts, and with him getting with 20 to 24 months before it gets into the appellate court, he'll be back on the street. But this has destroyed him financially in the music world, in the business world. He's tarnished with white America. So we'll see if he'll be able to pop back on this travesty and do better than Suge Knight did.
I want to see also, and some of you saying is that, basically by the time he come home, and he'll hit an appellate court. Even if it did, do you think that Diddy will still pursue the fact to appeal it and try to get it to where it's thrown out? Or at that point, does he just not worry about it because he's out? I don't know. I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, like I said, you're right. And but like I say, the big picture is after this travesty, where is he going to be able to go after that?
Oh, his money long, OG. He ain't worried about his money long, OG. He just tried to make a $50 million bond. He's not hurting for money like that. No, so I don't think you're right about that. Here we go again. Let's listen to this brother. He had some enlightening things to say about this Diddy situation.
Brian, you say you think it's unlikely the judge overturns these convictions or gives Combs a new trial, but they could help him on appeal.
Yeah, so the reason why I say that is at different points of a stage, there are different standards in which you need to prove your case. We all know the proof beyond a reasonable doubt when it comes to the actual trial itself. But when we're talking about this type of motion, we're saying in the light most favorable to the prosecution, they still lose. That is a high standard for a defense team to win. But I do think that some of these arguments, when you're talking about the constitutionality of these charges as they apply on these facts, are the facts not properly fitting into what this law is supposed to prohibit? I think on appeal, when the standard is different, there may be a strong argument there. They are making some of those arguments now. What exactly is the definition of prostitution? There is none in the federal system. Is it typically where it involves what you call a pimp, so someone who services another individual by selling off an individual for sexual favors or whatever it may be, or a John, someone who purchases that individual for that, or is it someone who watches what the pimp and the John does? And the defense is saying, well, someone who watches isn't a part of this transaction. It's only the people who participated in it. That definition may be something that I think is stronger on appeal.
I agree with him wholeheartedly that what they're trying to push toward him now and what it actually was is two different things. That he went to jail or went in there facing. They went in there, they pulled guns, they basically took guns, they said serial numbers were wiped off. They didn't even bring that up in there. They wasn't trying to do it. They evidently something wasn't right with that. That's why they didn't admit it or put it in there, because they knew something wasn't right with that. They couldn't charge him for that. It was something they found out on that, but they blew it up at first to get the people on the smear campaign to believe that we got him right where we want him. And then they turn around. If the man liked porn, are we going to give him all his time for it? He didn't force those people to do the stuff they was doing. He of course, he enjoyed what he was seeing. He's a watcher. People watch porn. People do what we doing here, OG? Are you there, OG?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I said, what are we doing here? I mean, is this everybody watch porn? Watch somebody having sex with somebody? And all that. If they start pushing the pen that way, then you'll be you watched you might watch porn, but you fantasize mentally or something. Yeah, you go to jail now. They're gonna have something on scanning y'all mind pretty soon. Y'all all going to jail.
So yeah, I mean, basically, that's the argument that his defense team is bringing up. Just because he was a participant in something that was going on. And he wasn't the solicitor, and he wasn't the prostitute. He wasn't the John. He was just somebody watching. So how can you give him transport? He never directly transported anybody. He never did any of that. It was, if anybody should have been tried for anything like that, it should have been Cassie and the other lady. But I mean, that's all part of the conspiracy to destroy him and they did what they wanted to do, and you'll find out his financial disability shortly.
Well, does Diddy walk out of that courtroom next month?
No.
Or will he go to prison?
No. He's going to stay where he's at. He's going to do there months.
Really? Oh, gee, I don't know. You don't know that. This is up in there now. I say he can get out. I'm still saying that. We gonna keep faith that he'll walk out of there. He already been in jail for years now. I say years. Years now. So let him walk. And I know a lot of people gonna get mad at me and be like, well, you know, Diddy was this and he's this monster. All I'm saying is what they got him for, and what they charged him with is two different things now, and they find themselves in a dilemma because they did not go at this appropriately. Why is Diddy still having to suffer at a whole higher cost because of their mishap? That's what I'm saying.
Well, like my uncle used to say, get you a number and stand in line. This is a whole bunch of them.
Hey guys, listen guys, if you're still watching, man, listen guys, make sure you watch this next episode. What did we talk about? I know we talked about Jay Prince earlier. What
we talked about Cat Williams and the setup.
Cat Williams. And his new interview after all of the stuff that he's been through, he's quieting down. Guys, look at this. And I do Cat Williams. I won't do Jay Prince, but Jay Prince is dope too. I might put both of them up. I don't know, man. Just watch the next video, man, and download Boss Talk 101.app now. Boss Talk 101 review.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.